Could you please now make a warm welcome for Alex Whatley?
Hello. I went to an open mic night for a poetry festival before Christmas, and my friend and I overheard some quite nasty responses to the open mic performances, and we thought this was a little unforgiving, and so I wrote a poem called The Demands of the Poetry Audience. But I should add that this was in reference to an audience far more judgmental and less attractive than the good people at the art house. So here it is. Nervously, he approaches the stage and looks around, and as we stare impatiently, waiting for him to make a sound, the demands assemble. Tell us a story, but make sure it's engaging. Be passionate, but we don't want to hear you raging about your adolescent feelings. No hormonal tantrums about squealing about how that girl didn't smile back at you on the bus. It wasn't profound. Now find something tolerable to discuss. This isn't about you, it's about us. Now get on with the next verse. And please don't talk about your sex life, it's disgusting. This is poetry, not a platform for your endless lusting after your girlfriend who is clearly a little too trusting. Don't cause any offence. But you have to surprise us. Maybe you could cry. Unless, of course, you're one of those people who gets that puffy, weird eye, in which case, if you start to feeling getting upset, just say goodbye. People have paid for these tickets. Tell us something personal, but make sure it's true. Think of it as therapy, but with a collective review. You've got 3 minutes to unlock the depths of you, but make sure it's funny. Now, you're running out of time. Move on to something else, it's fine. Slip in an internal rhyme, perhaps that will pick up the pace. And for God's sake, don't try to be clever. Your mood is not being reflected by the weather. Sometimes it just rains. Look, choose something relatable, but make sure it's yours. No, these jokes aren't working. You're clutching at straws. Just lay out your heart in exchange for applause. Explain why she left you. Tell us how it feels to wake up alone, or how you still feel her beside you, and you try to disown this emptiness. But don't be pretentious. See, we are the people who decide what true art is, so surrender your past for the judgment of third parties. Hand out your memories like they're fucking Smarties. And maybe then we'll consider you a poet. And that's the first point. When we went to this open mic festival, my friend Ben tried to say, he said, you've got to go, it'll change your life, you know, it'll alter your perceptions, it'll expand your mind, and I thought this was a little bit of an overselling. But actually, thanks to one poet, it sort of did, and it's Bonna. I don't know if you remember her. Yeah, well, I wrote a sort of response to Bonna and how it impacted me. You came to read us your poetry. It was December. You did 15 minutes and returned to your seat. We met at the bar and I told you I enjoyed it, remember? You were very gracious and polite. We said goodbye and you thought I was sweet. The thing is, after careful thought and some confusing dreams, I've come to the I think I want to marry you. Immediately. Now, there's no pressure. You don't have to decide right away. I have already told my parents, which admittedly seems strange. I would have waited longer, but I figured it would be okay because, well, we're having a June wedding and there was catering to arrange. I didn't know if you prefer salmon or duck. I also don't know your middle name, but I still think we can be happy. All we need is cooperation and a good, solid bit of luck. My groom speech will be heartfelt, nothing too sappy. I'm actually quite dignified normally. This is all quite new. I know it may seem like a practical joke, a deliberate sham, but honestly, Miss Bonna, there is something about you that makes me want to burst into libraries wearing nothing but jam. I just think I really like your poems. It could be worse. Probably a mistake to publicly proclaim it in verse. After sending you pictures of our children was probably quite perverse. Please just marry me, and let's make it soon. I'm running out of libraries, so I will marry you anywhere, though preferably in June.